Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Starter Garage. In today's episode, the game plan is to finally introduce you to the E30. Now that the garage is cleaned up, I have some more room to work, and I can move the car around. So I bought some wheel dollies from Harbor Freight yesterday. Game plan is to get the car up on these dollies, move it at least to the middle of the garage so I can walk around it, but maybe we'll actually put it outside for once, let it see daylight for the first time in like 2 years. Anyways, stay tuned. Okay, so apparently step one is actually assembling the dollies. Hey guys, so it's actually the next day. I had to cut things short yesterday. I had a barbecue and a housewarming party to go to, so I didn't get to do a lot more on the E30. Anyways, I want to take the opportunity to finally introduce you to the E30. I know it's been a long time coming. I know it may have seemed like I've been delaying it. It's because I'm really good at procrastinating, but I'm working through that. I've had the E30 for 6 years. I came across it, actually my friends came across it on a BMW forum called Max Bimmer. I'll put the link to it down in the description below. They have a thread on there that says someone should buy this. And I thought, hey, you know what, an E30, that's pretty good. It's about the size of a Mazda Protege, but it's rear wheel drive, and I mean, it's a BMW, so it's going to have a lot more aftermarket or motorsports support than a Protege would. And we drove down with a truck and an empty trailer. Like, I was buying this car. There was no way I wasn't buying this car. Anyways, this is what the car looked like when I picked it up. So we loaded the car up on the trailer, stopped off at a Timmy's on the way home, and that was the beginning of this E30 story. I was really excited to start racing it. As you can see, I put my number plate on it right away. and I was itching to get going. First thing I did was tear down. It's gonna be a race car. I'm just gonna gut it. And that's where things started to get a little weird. So the guy decided to make his own ski pass through. by cutting a hole in the rear of the car. Seems like it makes sense, right? I mean, wouldn't you do that? The next thing that I had to do though, I actually had to, since I was actually driving this car, I would be driving this car on the road, I had to figure out how to pass safety. Now, I don't know if you've ever had to replace the windshield wiper mechanism on, or the motor on an E30, but let's just say it's a fairly involved process. So that's the mundane stuff, right? Picked up the car, 1,500 bucks, stripped the back end out of it, found this weird chest burster hole in the back of it, replaced the wiper motor, and got it plated, got it safetied. We were ready to go. Having come from the Protege, I knew that I didn't necessarily want to half-ass anything. So when I started piecing together everything for the E30, I went full tilt. That haul of parts includes ground control coilovers, Coney yellow sleeves, AKG Motorsport, bushings. Every single bushing's been replaced. Bimmer World stainless steel clutch lines and brake lines. I have Ireland Engineering sway bars, a Z3 shifter from Pelican Parts. All these things, basically, I put together a list of everything I wanted to change on the E30 to just make it ready to go day one, first event. It was gonna have a tighter suspension, nothing was gonna move, all those bushings were gonna be great. Pedal feel in the brakes was gonna be great, clutch pedal feel was gonna be great, and I was gonna have these short, notchy shifts compared to the spaghetti shifter I had going on in the E30 at the time. I've got a car, I've got a pile of parts, what am I gonna do with them? Well, it's time to get into the full teardown of the vehicle. I like to say that my first mod on this car was a Stage 1 Flintstones mod. When we took out the carpet, this is what we found. Basically, I had a couple of major holes in the front floor on both the driver's side and the passenger side. The solution there is fairly straightforward. You have a bunch of rust, you cut it out, you weld in new floors. So the Stage 1 modification of cutting out the floors wasn't scary enough. Stage 2 was installing the suspension. Now, for those of you that don't know, ground control coilover kits require you to take the front struts out of your BMW and actually cut into them to remove the sleeve. It's kind of an intense process where if you screw up one cut, you're going to be looking for another set of donor suspension. So we've got the floors done, we've got the suspension done in terms of the actual coilovers. What else was there left to do? Well, basically, every single bushing in the car was changed. So rear diff bushing, rear trailing arm bushings, rear subframe bushings, transmission mount bushings, lower control arm bushings with E36 lollipops. And I also decided to upgrade the engine mounts. Now, engine mounts for an E30 were super expensive for some reason, but you could actually take a 5 Series, an E28, I believe it's E28 5 Series engine mounts that are solid rubber mounts and just install them in your E30. I had to grind off a small tab, but they bolted in without any issue, and that's what I've been running, or that's what's been sitting in the car for the last number of years. Anyways, with the floor taken care of, the suspension taken care of, the bushings all changed. We put in new sway bars from Ireland Engineering, front and rear, and we did the clutch line, brake lines, and the shifter. So that's basically how the car is sitting today. And I do mean sitting. I haven't really had a chance to work on it in 2 years, but now I'm raring to go. So I have a large box from FCP Euro sitting in the garage right now, spark plugs, plug wires, all my filters, all my fluids, that's all gonna get swapped. And then I have a couple of other fun projects in mind for the car, which I'll announce via Instagram, and I'll obviously post videos for all of those projects as they become available. I don't want to give away too much yet, but stay tuned. There's powertrain updates, there's interior updates, there's safety updates coming. There's a couple of DIY motorsports pieces that I'm going to build myself. Anyways, I have a lot in store, and I hope you'll join me on this adventure as we work through each project. If you're new or you haven't already, please consider hitting subscribe below and turn on your notifications. It's a really motivating thing for me to get notifications that somebody has liked my video or somebody new has subscribed to my channel. And likewise, I love getting those same notifications from Instagram, which again, if you're not following me on there, I'm at Starter Garage Online. I love reading your comments, and it's great to see these notifications for people liking the pictures and subscribing or following me. on both those platforms. Again, if you haven't already done so, if you're not following me, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so and come along on this adventure with me, and we'll see you next time. And now I'm going to attempt to zip tie my GoPro to my garage door. Oh my God, that was so bad.